Okay, so we are on the lift and we've got some work to do getting this transfer case swapped out. I could show you all the process and everything, but I've already got videos like that, so I'm gonna just get this thing pulled out, maybe set the two transfer cases side by side, and maybe do a little comparison. But otherwise, I know that they're gonna be a direct swap as far as bolts go and nuts and all that stuff. So I'm gonna get this thing on the ground. Okay, well, I am pretty convinced that I'm going to need the harness out of the other truck for sure. But luckily, it is the transfer case has its own harness running up the driver's side frame rail of the truck. So here is the four-wheel drive sensor for the NP261, and there are no other sensors on the auto four-wheel drive, and I'll have to check and see what that new process number is. But basically, there are a plug here and here for the actuator. There's a plug here, speed sensor, another plug there, and on this 261 there's just the speed sensor and the four-wheel drive plug. So very simple, and hopefully still a simple process to swap. So that there harness, the smaller one that's coming up from under that brake booster, that comes up and splits off to the front diff and then into this fuse panel. All those wires that are exposed right there in that blue wrap, that's all part of that four-wheel drive harness. Now over there on the floor, just those two plugs, that's all that plugs into the parts truck. So I am hoping that the one with the blue wrap around it will plug in somewhere simple where that blue wrap is, and all those other colored wires can just go away. So I'm going to have to pull this bracket here so that way this plastic shroud can come up. There's just two tabs right there and there that release, and this whole thing slides up. And that will be the moment of truth to see if this is simply a plug and play swap. Okay, it looks like it's going to work. This plug right here is going to be all we need under this whole fuse box, and all those plugs are going to be disconnected, and for now I'm not going to worry about that. I'm sure that most of that's going to go into the cab to the switch panel. Some of it might go to the dash for that service four-wheel drive light or any other service lights. Hopefully just disconnecting it will disable the system instead of set off an alert. So I'm pretty sure all I've got left to do is put the driver's side inner wheel well back together and take this thing for a test drive. Alright, well, I put some of these clips back in and hold this thing back up. I guess we can do a little recap. So I used an NP261 transfer case out of I believe it was actually a 2000 Silverado with a 5.3 automatic. And this is a 99 Silverado with a 5.3 automatic. But this was the push button four-wheel drive. And man, I hate those things. We used the entire transfer case harness out of the donor vehicle, and the shifter and shifter rod, the shifter mounting ring and interior trim bezel, And I still need to, on the dash, replace the switch with the, what is it called? Like a little cubby hole. And let's see, the harness, the transfer case, the mounts and drive shafts were all the same. Man, I think that's about it. It's just a little bit of grunt work. Probably the most difficult part of the whole thing, other than having to deal with listening to me talk, is getting that harness out from underneath this cab mount right here. On this truck, there's no brake lines running right there because I've already relocated those. So there's a little bit more room between the cab and the frame, but otherwise there's a lot of stuff going on right there. So I think that's about it. So thanks again for watching, and hopefully this thing will go down the road just great now. When I need four-wheel drive, I'll go and I'm in. If I need low range, I'll go and I'm in. Easy as that. Well, dang it. It's still on. But I am confident that it's working, and that's good. I'd rather have a light and know that I have four-wheel drive than not have a light and not be sure if I have four-wheel drive. So here I'm doing some power braking. That's always the way to test. And then if I put in four-wheel drive, now it's just stalling the engine. So, all right, that's good.